You notice the delay before you notice your reaction. Your mind already turns silence into meaning you didn't choose. What looks like distance is often just timing that your brain refuses to accept. Your phone lights up face down on the table. You don't pick it up immediately because you already know who it is not. You open the last message again. 2 words shorter than usual. The screen brightness feels too sharp in a quiet room. Part of you wants to stay calm and wait, but another part is already tracking patterns you didn't consciously decide to look for. You feel both still and pulled at the same time. A small thought repeats without permission. They are changing. I'm not here to fix your reaction. I'm here to show you what your mind is doing before you even speak. Stay with the sequence, not the emotion, because it starts earlier than the anxiety. It starts with something almost invisible. It doesn't start with a blowout fight. It starts with a shift in rhythm. It starts with timing. Think about it. You see that scene receipt, but no reply. Or a message stays unanswered just a little longer than usual. During dinner, the conversation slows. Their eyes drift away just for a second. Right then, your brain kicks in. It treats that tiny delay as a warning signal. It takes uncertainty and turns it into emotional meaning. Suddenly, you feel a tension you can't quite name. Your attention locks onto them. You're overanalyzing every move, every breath. One thought takes over. They're pulling away. But here's the reality. Nothing has actually changed. Only your interpretation did. Remember this. Silence is not information. It is simply a gap your mind is trying to fill. And the problem is, your brain never leaves a gap empty. Our mind doesn't wait for clarity. It chooses a story immediately. A late reply, a short text, a distracted tone. You replay these moments in your head while staring at your phone. Right then, your rejection sensitivity kicks in. It starts matching patterns. Neutral signals are suddenly converted into emotional threats. The cost. You stop reading their behavior and start reading their intention. The thought line is always the same. It means something about me. But here's the reality. The exact same message can mean nothing or everything. It all depends on the lens you're wearing. Uncertainty feels unsafe, so your mind refuses to accept it. And that refusal is what creates movement. You don't stay quiet with uncertainty, you act on it. You send another message, then another. You question their tone. You reread old conversations. The typing cursor blinks, pauses, deletes. Right now, your brain is in hyperdrive, searching for control. Action becomes a substitute for the anxiety you can't handle. The cost? The tension isn't just inside your head anymore. It has shifted into the relationship. The thought line says, if I push, I'll know where I stand. But here's the reality. Your attempts to gain control often lead to having less of it. Remember this. What calms you internally can pressure them externally. And that pressure changes the dynamic. Now, something changes, but not the way you wanted. Replies get shorter. The timing stretches even further. Their tone becomes careful, distant, measured. What's actually happening is emotional regulation. They are creating space to restore their own stability. The cost? Your fear now has confirmation. The anxiety loop feels proven. The thought line says, see, I knew it. But here's the pattern break. Their withdrawal is not always rejection. It is regulation. But your system cannot read it that way yet. So it turns that confirmation into identity. This is where the loop closes. You replay everything. Every message, every interaction. It all becomes proof of distance. Your memory is being selective. It only gathers evidence that matches your fear. Anything that contradicts it, it simply gets ignored. The cost? You feel a cold certainty that they are leaving. even when the reality is completely unclear. The thought line says, "I always knew this would happen." But here's the pattern break. Certainty is not truth. It is just your nervous system in high alert. Remember, to an activated nervous system, anxiety always feels like clarity. But the real driver is deeper than that. It was never just about texting. When they are warm, you feel stable. But when they're distant, everything collapses internally. Here's what's actually happening. Your self-worth is externally anchored to the state of the relationship. Your identity fluctuates with every signal of attention. The cost? This emotional dependency intensifies every single interaction. Small shifts don't just feel like a change in mood, they feel like a threat to your survival. The thought line says, "If they change, I disappear." But here's the pattern break. You are not reacting to love. You are reacting to the loss of identity. That is why it feels so much bigger than it actually is. And this is where the system peaks. The cycle feels external, but it is interactive. You fear losing them. You act to prevent it. But that very action changes their behavior. What's happening is two nervous systems trying to regulate each other. One escalates, the other withdraws. The cost? Both of you misread each other's protection as rejection. The thought line asks, why does this always happen? But here's the reality. Sometimes, fear creates the very outcome it predicts. Not because you are wrong, but because your system is reactive. And this is the real point of understanding it. This is not a problem of being too emotional. It is a nervous system that treats uncertainty as a loss of safety before any evidence even exists. This is for the people who read silence faster than words are spoken. The truth is, you are not reacting to distance. You are reacting to not knowing what that distance means yet. Think about the last time you assumed meaning from silence. What did you decide in your head before anything was confirmed? Let me know in the comments. If this helped you see the pattern more clearly, you can stay for the next one. Because most reactions don't begin with truth. They begin with an interpretation that never got checked.